Coming up in the news, members of the Bahamas Communication Public Officers Union forced to go back to the polls. Hear why. Also, a new dean at UB North. And training made available for Customs' new Click to Clear system. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Department of Labor has declared the recent Bahamas Communications Public Officers Union invalid. The union represents the line staff at ZNS, BTC, and the Bridge Authority will now have to conduct a new election by the end of the month. Tonight, the incumbent president, along with his opponent, who ran for the top post and won, are weighing in on this latest turn of events. Members of the Bahamas Communications Public Officers Union will be forced to head back to the polls come July 29th, just over a week after the members voted in favor of Sherry Benjamin as president. But with elections being declared invalid by the Department of Labor, incumbent President Dino Roll shares why the Department of Labor will not certify the elections and advise that a new poll must be conducted.
Well, it's because communication coming out of this office prior to the elections to the Department of Labor, where we were required to advise of the number of areas where the polls would be conducted. There was an oversight in the communication that left out two of the polling locations, namely Andros and Ken Island. Notwithstanding that, Lashina, ballots were still sent to those areas where members participated in the elections, and the count was reported to the Department of Labor, who then indicated, well, listen, these polls were not identified in the original communication.
And based on the Constitution, the election must take place before the end of the month.
And so certainly it gave us a short window to work with. But we're trying to abide by the provisions of our Constitution, and luckily, fortunately enough, Ms. Benjamin was here, and she would have heard everything that was shared by the Department of Labor, and she and I agreed, and then we called a meeting with all of the candidates.
He says a meeting was held with all candidates who accepted the recommendation from the Labor Department.
Since we have to go back to the polls, then it certainly gives the members another opportunity to choose. And it wouldn't be, it's a short window. And so those of us who have to reach out and contact any other member, we'll be doing that.
We also spoke with Sherry Benjamin, who says she was disappointed. She ran as president and won. Here's what she had to say.
I respect the rule of law, and I would like to make sure that everybody's voice is heard, and so I am comfortable with the decision for it to go to go over, so that we don't disenfranchise anybody, anyone, any voter. And so Labor says it has to be done over. I was present when they said they would have informed Mr. Roll as to what has to happen, and so I'm good with that.
Candidates do not have to reapply. However, based on the advice from the Labor Department, no new nominations will be accepted. Shashina Wolf-Farquharson, ZNS Network News. Well, while the nation's chief denies reports of a snap election purported by the opposition and independent candidates, scores of residents continue to inundate the parliamentary registration centers on various islands. Tonight, we speak with the local administrators on Bimini and Abaco to assess what is happening on those northern islands. As centers on Grand Bahama and Nassau have experienced a rush at the parliamentary registration yesterday, one island is reporting a continued steady flow since the registrar was opened for voter registration. Assistant Administrator of the Bimini District, Deidre Bethel Fox, says no rush in Bimini, but persons have been coming in for transfers.
Presently in the Bimini District, we have lots of persons who actually are transferring into the district or from one polling division division to another. But there's just a few that actually registering people who have come of age to register. But it's just normal. We haven't had enough persons there for evening registrations. We tried it once or twice, and they really didn't get any feedback on that. So we just continue the registration through office hours.
But the situation is different in Central Abaco, according to District Administrator Don Roll, who says that many persons flocked to the centers yesterday.
Yes, it is a mass increase since yesterday. We had an enormous number of persons just flocking into the administrator's office to be registered for the upcoming general election. Most of the requests is transferring and replacement. Because of the Hurricane Dorian, a lot of folks or residents would have lost their voter's card. So they are seeking now to have replacement in order to be able to register and vote in the upcoming election.
And the situation is the same in North Abaco. Senior Deputy Family Island Administrator Therese Boodle-Lang says there has been an uptick in persons coming in to register to vote.
There was definitely an uptick in registration. Persons coming, presenting themselves for transfers, new registrants. And so we experienced that in all of our areas. The administrator's office in Cooperstown, we were able to do a late night registration in Green Toki, and far more persons presented themselves than was anticipated. And so today we're in Grand Key. That is our expectation too, that those persons who didn't come forward when we were here last will present themselves today. So we're making ready to register in Grand Key the remaining persons who are qualified.
Shoshana Rolf-Arkason. Now, both North and Central Abaco administrators say that they are looking to extend the parliamentary registration hours to accommodate residents. Well, meantime, here on Grand Bahama, the scene at the parliamentary registration department looked much different than yesterday. Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Denise Pinder says while a lot of persons showed up to register, the lines today was not as long.
I think there were lines of persons at all the centers, but they definitely were not as long as yesterday. And persons are waiting patiently to get served. We don't see where persons are leaving. So they're going to wait until they get the process done.
Now, Pinder says the challenge the centers experienced was maintaining the cooperation of persons outside.
Because most of the centers have a small complement of staff. You know, we try to get them to understand that we're processing as quickly as we can, making sure that we want to do it as accurately as possible. But from time to time, it was a hot day. Persons, I'm sure, were tired of standing in the sun. We couldn't help that.
Well, as of yesterday on Grand Bahama, over 3 constituencies had over 6,000 registered voters. Central Grand Bahama had the highest amount with 6,716. Then East Grand Bahama with 6,395. Marcos City with 6,260, followed by West Grand Bahama with 5,643 and Pine Ridge with 5,626. COVID-19 cases rising once again here on Grand Bahama. The latest dashboard showing 19 cases for this island, 58 in New Providence, 2 in Abaco, 4 in Cat Key and Bimini, and 1 in Long Island, for a total of 81 new cases. Hospitalizations rising as well. 21 hospitalized cases on Grand Bahama, including 2 in the intensive care unit. The remaining 62 hospitalized cases are in New Providence. Now, active cases are now at 1,194. The total number of recovered cases stands at 12,132. Switching gears, the Customs Department announcing last month that business will now be easier with the department through a new digital platform. But there has been a slight delay. Tonight, the Minister of State for Finance is discussing some of the challenges and is assuring residents that just in a matter of weeks, a new system will be in place. Natalia Hall reports.
The former ECAS system has been encountering tremendous challenges on Grand Bahama, and recently, the Customs Department introduced the Click-to-Clear digital platform to make business easier for clients. Minister of State for Finance, Honorable Kwesi Thompson, says he is aware of the issue, and come September, the new Click-to-Clear platform will be officially launched.
It is an old system. It is a system that really has gone beyond its time, and so it is down, and Customs has apologized to the public. And I also want to reiterate our apologies and apologize for the inconvenience that this has caused to a number of the businesses in Grand Bahama.
He says this is a period of transition for the system.
Because it is an old system, it was not serving the public well, and so we now need to bring on the Click-to-Clear. And we intend to launch that Click-to-Clear on the 1st of September. We also have asked the Comptroller of Customs, who has agreed to come to Grand Bahama and to have meetings and dialogue with the members of the public, and have dialogue to ensure that they get a complete understanding as to what the challenges are, and that they also get an understanding as to the time frame and when things are going to be back to normal with respect to the Click-to-Clear.
He is asking business owners for their patience.
And we also pledge that there will be more communication, and that will start with the Comptroller and her senior team traveling to Grand Bahama and having meetings with those stakeholders, because we understand that it is important for the public and the business community to have communication, and that they get a complete understanding as to what is happening.
He says the government is moving towards digitization.
Click-to-Clear will provide us with that. There are some issues with respect to the Click-to-Clear that also need to be worked out between now and the 1st of September, and that also is part of the dialogue that we will be doing with the public.
The State Minister for Finance says he is confident that once the Click-to-Clear system comes on stream in September, things will return to a sense of normalcy for businesses in Grand Bahama. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
The University of the Bahamas, UB, announcing the appointment of Dr. Andrew Moxey as Dean of Faculty of UB North. Dr. Moxey's appointment officially began on July 1st. In his capacity as Dean, Dr. Moxey will oversee the expansion of academic program offerings in alignment with the strategic vision for the campus and the mission of the institution. He will assist with the recruitment, selection, orientation, and retention of appropriately qualified faculty, and he will propose and implement strategies to increase retention of students and to support student academic success in collaboration with the Dean of Student Affairs. Now, the new Dean of Faculty will also seek to promote student and faculty research, particularly in the sciences, as UB North seeks to become the STEM campus of the university. Dr. Moxey, during a long and productive career in the chemical and pharmaceutical manufacturing industry, and held technical and senior leadership positions in a number of organizations. In 2009, Dr. Moxey made the formal transition from industry to academia when he joined the faculty of UB's antecedent institution, the College of the Bahamas, or COB, as an assistant professor of chemistry. Well, tonight we continue to focus on sports power as the country celebrates its 48th anniversary of independence. In this report, we will hear from a fixture in the sports of soccer who continues to work to build the country's reputation as a powerhouse. Here is Jay Philippe.
Coach Donnie knows most evenings you can find him at the YMCA soccer field sharing his knowledge to young soccer players and even young adults. His experience in soccer didn't begin as a coach. Donnie grew up in New Providence in a soccer family where his brothers were all elite players. He first started playing soccer for Aquinas College team as a forward. He played Sunday League for Loomis team as a goalkeeper, then moving later to the Paradise team.
I play in the Saturday League and the Sunday League. We used to have two leagues, and also the junior boys used to play Saturdays, and we played two games on Saturday actually. So we'll play in the morning and play in the evening, and then play in the senior team Sundays.
Donnie's first international exposure was with the Bahamas against Bermuda in 1979 as a goalie. Donnie went on to represent the Bahamas as a member of the national soccer team on multiple occasions, a feeling he says will forever be sketched in his memories.
So I know one time we went to Haiti, seeing a crowd there of 10,000 fans show up to watch the game. Going in to Jamaica, big football country. And you're coming in as the Bahamas, it's intimidating because, they just feel like they got it on you. But we had a great time, we worked hard. But it's good experience.
In 1981, Donnie had the opportunity to play at the professional level for Sheffield United, which was an English club at the time. Unfortunately, he broke his leg at the trials and returned home. In 1982, Donnie was again approached by a professional team in Scotland. After 9 months there, he again returned home. He moved to Grand Bahama in 1983, where he started his own team and played for a few more years. But ever since, he's dedicated his time to coaching and passing on experience and knowledge to others.
I love getting out there and being part of the kids and seeing them grow. Not just kids, you're talking young adults. And seeing them grow, seeing how they appreciate how you're talking to them and expressing their interests. Because it's an avenue to open up and have a one-on-one talk, and they want that.
Donnie now spends hours with young players, encouraging and advising them not only on soccer skills, but life skills.
My wife, Mary, we're like a teamwork, so she has a number of licenses and certificates as well, and now to just give kids that opportunity that they could, if they work hard enough, stick in their grades, sports can carry you anywhere in life. And now we have our program going where it's all about learning and discipline and teaching them the sport, and not only the sport on the field, but the sport of life.
As we continue to celebrate 48 years of independence, we pay homage to Donnie Knowles, an unsung hero in the community of Grand Bahama, for the impact he has had in sports. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, we'll be back right after this.